Welcome to this explainer. Okay, we're diving straight into things today because we are unpacking two massive new European Union regulations that are effectively ending the Wild West era of digital finance. If you are an executive operating anywhere near the intersection of crypto and traditional financial services, the landscape is literally shifting beneath your feet right now. The days of operating in a regulatory gray area, they're totally over, replaced by strict, comprehensive frameworks known as MiCA and DORA. So it begs a pretty critical question. Is your digital finance business actually ready for this new era? We're going to look at how these rules raise both the legal and financial stakes for noncompliance. Make no mistake, failing to adapt carries massive reputational and financial risks. But there is a flip side here, and this is what we're really going to focus on today. These regulations create a major competitive advantage for the organizations that are prepared. Becoming compliant early isn't just a defensive move. It's a brilliant way to signal absolute trust to the market. Here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to meet MiCA and DORA, see exactly where the rules overlap, highlight the key differences you need to know, check the ticking compliance clock, and finally, give you a highly practical action plan.
All right, let's jump into part one. Meet MiCA and DORA.
First up is MiCA, which stands for the Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation. Think of MiCA as the ultimate consumer protection rulebook for the crypto space. It is designed to make the market significantly safer and ensure operations are fully transparent. If you're issuing or trading crypto, this is your new baseline. For instance, it puts a really heavy focus on stablecoins, requiring issuers to hold solid, verifiable reserves. The goal there is to prevent the kind of disastrous collapses we've seen in the past. It also demands strict licensing and anti-money laundering compliance. Ultimately, MiCA is about building real confidence and long-term trust so that innovation can actually thrive safely. Then we have DORA, or the Digital Operational Resilience Act. Now, if MiCA is about market integrity, DORA is essentially your digital fortress. It's an incredibly comprehensive framework aimed at strengthening financial institutions against cyber attacks and major IT disruptions. DORA forces businesses to ensure they have the exact tools and processes in place to handle severe shocks and keep their operations running. Crucially, it sets incredibly strict rules for how you manage risks when working with third-party tech providers, which, let's be honest, is often the weakest link in any company's security chain. Under DORA, you are required to regularly test your systems for vulnerabilities. Moving on to part two, where the rules overlap. Now, executives often treat new regulations in complete silos, right? Handing one off to the legal team and another to IT. But the real aha moment comes when you realize how perfectly MiCA and DORA actually intersect. They share a fundamental DNA. Take risk management, for example. MiCA demands operational stability, which aligns perfectly with DORA's mandate for strict information and communication technology, or ICT risk frameworks. Then look at incident response. MiCA requires clear, immediate communication for any crypto-related disruptions, while DORA demands the exact same thing through standardized incident reporting. And finally, third-party risk. Both frameworks heavily emphasize strict due diligence for your service providers. So the crucial takeaway here is this: unified compliance saves time and capital. Because these frameworks overlap so much in their demands, tackling them simultaneously is a total game changer. It streamlines your reporting, eliminates duplicate work across your departments, and drastically strengthens your overall organizational resilience. You aren't just checking two different boxes, you're building a stronger, more unified company. Let's move to part three, key differences to know. While they overlap beautifully in their operational requirements, it's absolutely vital to understand where they diverge so you don't get caught off guard. The most obvious difference is their scope. MiCA is laser-focused specifically on the crypto world. We're talking crypto assets, service providers, and stablecoin operators. DORA casts a much wider net. It targets traditional financial institutions and ICT providers. Under DORA, crypto is really just treated as one subset of the broader financial ecosystem. Their core goals also differ slightly, which shapes exactly how regulators will evaluate you. MiCA is fundamentally focused on consumer protection and market integrity. Regulators want to make sure the products themselves are safe for the public. DORA focuses almost exclusively on operational resilience and cybersecurity. DORA is basically all about keeping the digital lights on and the data secure during a massive cyber attack or outage. Consequently, the actual evidence you hand over to regulators, your compliance frameworks, look very different. For MiCA, it's highly specific crypto documentation, licensing applications, detailed token white papers, and audits proving you have those stablecoin reserves. DORA, on the flip side, demands evidence of comprehensive IT risk management protocols, detailed incident reporting workflows, and proof that you are rigorously testing your systems. Which brings us to part 4, the ticking compliance clock. 2025. This number should literally be front and center on every executive's whiteboard today. This is not something you can just put off until next quarter. The window to prepare is rapidly closing as we approach a massive, inflexible regulatory deadline early next year. If we map this out, you'll see why the pressure is on. The milestone for establishing DORA ICT risk policies was late 2023, so if you haven't started that, you're already playing catch-up. By mid-2024, MiCA's strict stablecoin compliance frameworks came due. Late 2024 enforces MiCA's final implementation and all those crypto service provider licensing requirements. And finally, that absolute hard deadline, January 2025, when full comprehensive compliance with DORA is legally required across the board. All right, part 5, your action plan. So, knowing the rules and seeing those strict deadlines, what exactly should your business do today? Here is a totally jargon-free 5-step action plan. Step 1, establish a joint compliance team. Don't do the work twice. Step 2, perform a gap analysis. Compare how you operate today against the new rules to find your vulnerabilities. Step 3, build an integrated framework that satisfies both mandates at once. Step 4, implement GRC, governance, risk, and compliance technology to help automate your incident tracking. And Step 5, conduct ongoing monitoring and staff training, because this environment is going to keep evolving. And hey, you absolutely don't have to tackle this completely alone. Bringing in external compliance consultants can be a massive asset. They help by tailoring a compliance roadmap for your specific business model. They provide that highly technical ICT and crypto expertise you might be missing internally. They cut through all the regulatory complexity, and ultimately they ensure cost efficiency by keeping you from making really expensive early missteps. Because at the end of the day, meeting these requirements isn't just about avoiding a nasty penalty. Proactive compliance ensures true resilience. It builds immense trust with your stakeholders, your clients, and the regulators. In a newly regulated market where some of your competitors will undoubtedly stumble, having your house in order gives you a powerful, distinct advantage. We've covered the overlapping rules, the strict timelines, and the action plan. Knowing the high stakes and the fact that 2025 is looming so large, I want to leave you with this final thought. How will you ensure your digital finance operations remain secure and fully compliant in this new era? The clock really is ticking, so what is your very first step tomorrow? Thanks for tuning into this explainer. Ensure you take this knowledge and turn it into decisive action.